What was the first video game you felt was a work of art and not just something to play for fun? The Last of Us. I have never felt so immersed and invested in the story of a video game until I played it. Right from the start the game pulls you in and makes you feel all sorts of emotions. Such an amazing story, and I love watching others play it for the first time and getting to see them experience what a great game it is. I teach a media analysis unit. I still have students who only think of video games as either Candy Crush or Mario, so I bring in the PS4 and demo the first 20 minutes of The Last of Us. It creates full immersion, is as intense as any all-time great thriller, and then hits them with heartbreak before the credits. I love watching them react. Chrono Trigger, currently playing through it again. What about Chrono Cross? The music is a work of art in that game. Oh, I 110% agree. Zelda blew my mind back in the day. I played the shit out of it. In my mind nothing came close to touching it. I typically have a very hard time committing to playing games all the way through and get easily distracted with other. It wasn't until I played Oblivion that I found another game that was as complete to me. Skyrim though was just a work of art. I just got into VR and Skyrim VR is just crazy. VR in general provides a lot of opportunity, and I can't wait to see what the field brings. Super Mario Galaxy. Like they just fucking nailed it on the aesthetic. Like, let's be real, the level design is great and all, and I love the gravity effects, but it's not mind-blowing. But damn, the atmosphere, the observatory, Rosalina and her storybook, the music. God of War. My wife and I are trying for our first child now. Story definitely stuck out to me even more than the gameplay due to the father/son dynamic. Stardew Valley, one man's solo project becomes a hit. He does every bit, from the gorgeous background music to the clever and unique progressions and collections systems. The dialogue options are actually comparable to the spoken equivalent. It's a masterpiece and has uprooted what I thought I loved in games. Final Fantasy IX. I remember getting that just finished a great book feel after I beat it, and I was just blown away. Amazing game. Vivi's story really pulled me in, aside from the rest of the game being amazing as well. X was another that gave me the same feeling. I was 12 when I beat it and I cried like a baby at the end, lol. Spyro the Dragon judge away, but I stand my ground. The character designs are really good. Has to be Ocarina of Time. Kokiri Forest is probably the closest you can get to experiencing childhood again. Really cemented the idea in me that video games, through their interactivity, can evoke feelings in a way that most movies and books cannot. When you first venture out into Hyrule Field and get that wow, this map is so big, I replayed it shortly after finishing Twilight Princess for the first time and expected Hyrule Field to seem small compared to the larger world map from TP. Instead, when I got there I wondered to myself, how TF did they manage to make this game feel bigger and more real than modern games with the computing limitations of the N64? That game has aged like fine wine. Okami, yes. Hands down my favorite game, so I may be biased, but Okami is so unique in its art style and gameplay that it's always my immediate answer to these questions. Played it a lot as a kid just for fun, but once I got older I paid more attention to the story and really started to appreciate the art and characters. The ending never fails to make me sob. Own that masterpiece on Wii, Switch, and PC, and if ever a sequel comes out for a platform that isn't a handheld, sorry Okamiden, hand cramps and eye strain, I'd probably be first to pre-order. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, man, the architecture and urban planning are top-notch. Knights of the Old Republic, pretty much the quintessential Star Wars experience, with one of the better twists in the franchise. Literally a better story than any Star Wars game or movie since. Just so good. BioShock and its successors. It has a distinct art direction. As an Art Deco fan, I creamed my pants after I started playing the first one. Visually stunning, great story, fun gameplay. 2 was great for me, also don't get the hate. Maybe the best voice acting of any game also, Final Fantasy VII. Grand Theft Auto 3. First ever open world game. Absolutely amazing. Shadow of the Colossus. If you like that game, you may like Ico as well. They are loosely related and have the same developer. Journey. I've never even played it, but I've watched the entire playthrough because it's such a beautiful game. Undertale. I loved the characters and world building so much I still can't get over it. It also has so many different endings. 0. Gree. Definitely Gree. Red Dead 2. That intro scene is bonkers. Outer Wilds. The original Halo. Horizon Zero Dawn. Not the first for me, but the most recent. Everything about it has pretty consistent quality, especially the visuals. I've never taken so many screenshots. Papers, Please. At the time all I knew was take gun and go bang at bad guys. This had a story far deeper and I needed to consider consequences beyond things shooting at me. Thing stops shooting, it felt like a real world that I had an effect on. I could help the rebels on the off chance that Artsosky is better for it, but I can't guarantee the safety of my family. We saw the world from the perspective of a citizen in a dictatorship trying to do what we feel is best, and dealing with any consequences that brings on. Dishonored. Honestly, the art style is breathtaking. The Last of Us. And Part 2. Ocarina of Time. A Link to the Past felt like a cohesive world, but it was different. It was a living world. Everything felt like it existed in unison with everything else. And it was huge. All these years later I still love running around Hyrule Field. By far my favorite game, and I don't think any game will ever top the feeling I had playing through it the first time. Or second. I think I've beaten somewhere around 15 times now. Twilight Princess. Such nice skies and surroundings. Skyrim. Mist. Oh man, good call.